Okay, we are going to get started. People will file in as usual, kind of late. It's always like that with Freedom Rings events. So let me alt-tab over. Hi, welcome. Thank you for coming to Freedom Rings Transgender Day of Remembrance 2020 ceremony. So this year alone, there were over 350 trans individuals worldwide lost to homicide, suicide, police brutality, and in a lot of counts this year, COVID was also included in those counts. Those are just the cases that get reported. The suspected actual number is estimated to be a lot higher because many cases go unreported. That is about one transgender or gender nonconforming person lost per day of the year to some form of hate-fueled violence, with the exception of COVID this year. Trans people, and especially trans women of color, are among some of the most vulnerable people worldwide. Trans women of color in the Americas are estimated to have a lifespan of about 30 to 35. With the average life expectancy of cisgender people sitting at roughly 78. In a 2017 study run by GLAAD, about 85% of trans people lost to homicide alone were misgendered in their initial death reports. Police in the US regularly go out of their way to dead name trans individuals post-death. And there's a lot of reports every year of these families of the trans individuals coming to the funeral homes to say their final goodbyes, and only then to find out that against their wishes, the funeral homes and coroners had processed the deceased in accordance with genitals and not gender presentation. The list goes on. There's a lot of work to be done, and you're looking at these numbers too. They're not great. So for tonight's process, in the past, Freedom Rings has done this ceremony as a candlelight vigil right outside Mund, where all the trans identifying members of the organization who were comfortable doing so took turns reading names and causes of death as candles were lit and names were read. Due to COVID, of course, we all have to approach this differently. Tyler and I will be reading the names in accordance with the list that I have. As well as their causes of death and the little bio that comes with them. And then at the very end, a single candle will be lit, followed by a moment of silence. I ask that all those in attendance wait until after that moment to speak, and that any and all comments made after the initial ceremony is over are made respectfully and in good taste. So I will get us started with the names. Dustin Parker, age 25. He was fatally shot in McAlester, Oklahoma on New Year's Day. His employers released a statement shortly after his death, remembering him as a steadfast friend, an amazing husband and father, and generous to a fault. He loved fiercely, worked tirelessly, and took on life with so much hope and enthusiasm that his presence brightened all of our lives. And then Tyler.
Nulisa Luciano Ruiz was fatally shot in Tao Baja, Puerto Rico on February 24th. According to Metro Puerto Rico, members of her community knew her as humble and noble.
Yampi Mendez Arocho, age 19. She was killed in Moca, Puerto Rico on March 5th. He was a transgender man and shared his love for basketball and the NBA, and was often seen wearing Miami Heat apparel on social media. The biography line on his Facebook reads simply, humility prevails.
Monica Diamond, age 34. A Black transgender woman was killed in Charlotte, North Carolina on March 18th. Diamond was active in the Charlotte LGBTQ and nightlife community and was the co-owner of an event promotion company. She was also the co-CEO of the International Mother of the Year pageantry system, the pageant that honors LGBTQ mothers.
Lexi, age 33, a transgender woman killed in Harlem, New York on March 28th. According to reports, she was fatally stabbed in Harlem River Park. I really looked up to her because of her tolerance and respect, said Livonia Brooks, a friend of Lexi. Lexi had a beautiful heart. She was very gifted. Brooks also noted that Lexi loved poetry, makeup, and fashion.
Johanna Metzger, a transgender woman, was killed in Baltimore, Maryland on April 11th. According to reports, she was visiting a Baltimore recovery center from Pennsylvania at the time. Joanna was known for her love of music and taught herself to play multiple instruments.
Serena Angelique Velazquez Ramos, age 32, was killed in Puerto Rico on April 21st. She was killed alongside Leila Pelez Sanchez, age 21. According to reports, Ramos was visiting the island on vacation and was set to return to her home in Queens, New York at the end of the month. Loved ones are mourning her death, calling her full of life, a happy person, and a sincere friend. On May 1st, 2 men were charged under federal hate crimes law for Ramos's death.
Leila Pelez Sanchez, 21, was killed in Puerto Rico on the same day. She was killed alongside Serena Angelique Velasquez Ramos. According to reports, Sanchez recently moved to the island and was living in the Tejas neighborhood in La Piedras. On May 1st, 2 Puerto Rican men were charged under federal hate crime laws for Sanchez's death.
Penelope Diaz Ramirez, a transgender woman, was killed in Puerto Rico on April 13th. Penelope did not deserve to die. Transgender people do not deserve to die. Every single advocate, ally, elected official, and community member must stand up in light of this horrific news and say no more. What we are doing is not enough, said Tori Cooper, HRC Director of Community Engagement for the Transgender Justice Initiative.
Nina Pop, a Black transgender woman, was killed in Sykes-Town, Missouri on May 3rd. She was deeply loved by her family, friends, and community, according to her Facebook page.
Hele J. O'Regan, age 20, a transgender woman, was killed in San Antonio, Texas on May 6th. O'Regan was proud of her trans identity, and on Twitter, she often spoke out against injustice, including the LGBTQ inequality, the prison industrial complex, and the need to decriminalize sex work. Damian Terrell Campbell, 42, has been charged with O'Regan's murder.
Tony McDade, a Black transgender man, was killed in Tallahassee, Florida on May 27th, a victim of police brutality. His friends and family showed how he was an energetic, giving person with a big heart.
Dominique Remy Fells, a Black transgender woman, was killed in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on June 9th. One personal friend posted online, "Dom was a unique and beautiful soul who I am lucky to have known personally. I am beside myself right now. We need to fight. We need to do more. We will get justice."
Rhea Milton, age 25, a Black transgender woman, was killed in Liberty Township, Ohio on June 9th. In March, she posted the status, "Never been scared to struggle. I'ma get it eventually." A comment highlighting her resilience and optimism as a person facing a transphobic, misogynistic, and racist society.
Jane Thompson, age 33, a white transgender woman, was killed in Mesa County, Colorado on May 9th. She was killed by a Colorado State Patrol trooper and misgendered in initial news reports.
Selena Reyes Hernandez, age 37. She was a transgender woman and was killed in Chicago on May 31st. We have lost a beloved member of our trans family because of hate that has corrupted our country's soul and that shatters lives and futures every day, said Tori Cooper, HRC Director of Community Engagement for the Transgender Justice Initiative.
Brian Egypt Powers, age 43, a Black transgender person, was killed in Akron, Ohio on June 13th. Powers worked at a local catering company and is remembered for wearing long, colorful braids, unicorn braids as he called them.
Rayla Stone, age 17, was a 17-year-old Black transgender girl was found killed in Little Rock, Arkansas on June 25th. Rayla Stone was a child just beginning to live her life, a child of trans experience, a Black girl, a person who had hopes and dreams, plans, and community, said Tori Cooper, HRC Director of Community Engagement for the Transgender Justice Initiative. September 4th, a man was arrested on a murder charge in connection to her death.
Chrissy Mack, age 22. A Black transgender woman was killed in Dallas, Texas on June 30th. Her loved ones shared how beautiful of a friend she was. On her social media, she had recently posted that she enjoyed baking and she was looking forward to returning to work. On July 8th, a man was arrested on murder charge in connection to her death.
Shaki Peters, a 32-year-old Black transgender woman, was killed in Amite City, Louisiana on July 1st. In just 4 days, we have seen the deaths of at least 3 transgender and gender nonconforming people, including Shaki Peters. This horrific spike in violence against our community must be an urgent call to action for every single person in this nation.
Bree Black, age 27. 27-year-old Black transgender woman was killed in Pompano Beach, Florida on July 3rd. These killings are being fueled by the deadly combination of racism and transphobia, and they must cease. We must come together as a community and demand justice for those who were taken from us.
Summer Taylor, a white non-binary person, was in Seattle, Washington on July 4th. Taylor was participating in the Black Femme March in solidarity with Black Lives Matter and against police brutality. Taylor worked full-time at Urban Animal Veterinary Hospital.
Marilyn Cazares was a transgender Latina killed in Brawley, California. Mindy Garcia, an aunt of Cazares, said she loved to sing and dance and never bothered anyone.
Tiffany Harris, a Black transgender woman, was killed in the Bronx, New York. According to her Facebook, Harris loved fashion, listing her career as a personal shopper and posting photos with luxury fashion brands that she loved. On August 13th, a man was arrested on a murder charge in connection to her death.
Keisha D. Hardy, age 22. A Black transgender woman was killed in Baton Rouge, Louisiana on July 27th. Hardy, a hairstylist, was extremely loved by her community. Friends and loved ones described her as loyal, loving, always smiling, the life of all parties, and truly one of a kind.
Aja Raquel Roan Spears, who sometimes used the name Rocky Roan, a Black transgender woman, was killed in Portland, Oregon on July 28th. According to Facebook, she studied at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and was the owner and founder of International Barbie, a Portland-based clothing brand.
Key Sam, a Black transgender woman, was killed in Lafayette, Louisiana on August 12th. We must all speak up in support of trans and gender nonconforming people and affirm that Black trans lives matter.
Ariane Burnett, a Black transgender woman, was killed in Independence, Missouri on September 19th. Her friends and family shared, if you wanted to have a good day, you need to smile. Ariane was the person you wanted by your side.
Mia Green, age 29. Black transgender woman was killed in Philadelphia on September 28th. Her friends and family shared how her smile was so perfect and contagious. She made me laugh.
Michelene Ramos Vargas, a transgender woman from Puerto Rico in her mid-30s, was killed in San Germain, Puerto Rico on September 30th. This level of violence, any level of violence, is unacceptable. We are not doing enough to protect transgender and gender nonconforming people, especially trans women.
Felicia Harris, age 33. Transgender woman was killed in Augusta, Georgia in October. Felicia was an interior decorator who ran her own company where she enjoyed lending her eye to improve the surroundings of others and made others feel comfortable in their own space.
Brooklyn Deshauna, 20, a Black transgender woman, was killed in Shreveport, Louisiana on October 7th. Brooklyn attended Bossier Parish Community College and studied cosmetology.
Sarah Blackwood, a transgender woman, was killed in Indianapolis, Indiana on October 11th, recognized as National Coming Out Day. She enjoyed playing video games and was a fan of the show My Little Pony.
Angel Unique, a 25-year-old Black transgender woman, was killed in Memphis, Tennessee on October 25th. Licensed cosmetologist, friends and family of Angel remembered her for being very funny, very nice to everybody she met, and such a bright person with a positive spirit.
Leah Rayshawn Day, age 28, a Black transgender woman who died in Cuyahoga County Jail in Cleveland, Ohio on August 30th. Leah was found unresponsive in the early morning on August 30th and later passed away. An investigation into her death is ongoing.
Scott DeVore, a 51-year-old white gender nonconforming person, killed in Augusta, Georgia. Scott also identified as Scotland Kelly DeVore and appeared to have been presenting as Scotland when leaving home for the last time on March 14th. It is unclear, based upon public information, what name and pronouns DeVore would have wanted used in this tragic context.
So I'm going to move over to this screen and I'm going to flip things down so the candle is visible. And we'll give it a moment. So on behalf of Freedom Rings, as I am the only board member who is able to attend tonight, we ask that you take something away from the ceremony tonight. As allies, we ask that you work towards better allyship towards the trans and the larger LGBTQ plus community, and take some time to research and understand these issues and statistics and ways that you can help and be better. We ask that you say their names, and as you go on about your lives, that you continue to fight for a better and safer world for the trans community and the queer community as a whole. As trans individuals, we hope that through the morning you were able to find peace, and we wish you safety, acceptance, and comfort in a world that, as we've seen here tonight, is so often not safe and accepting and kind towards us. Maybe you all live happy, long, safe lives, and may you all find yourselves in accepting and welcoming places someday, if not tonight. On behalf of the trans community, I thank all of you for attending or watching the video in post to pay your respects and to mourn alongside us. Freedom Rings will be continuing this tradition of honoring those we have lost every year and paying our respect to our siblings and giving the LVC community as a whole, staff, students, and alumni alike, the ability to come out and pay their respects as well. We thank you all for attending and wish you comfort and safety in these uncertain and scary times.